Tonight on the Mac to the Future Livecast. Oh, sorry about last week, number one. Sorry. But there's so many updates. iOS 13, iPadOS 13, WatchOS 6, beta's out before the initial releases. Mac Pros all over Hollywood are knocked out, and it's not just special effects. No, it's not. All that tonight and more on the Mac to the Future Livecast. Go. All right, hey, here we are. Sorry about last week. Warren was sick. I was sick. Dave was sick of both of us. That's just how it works sometimes. But here we all are once again in the Mac to the Future Livecast universe, which has nothing to do with the Marvel universe, and I don't even know why I said that. But here we are. We are here. That's my name. That's some of the stuff that I do. And we have other people here with us. Other people. Wow, it's like I've never done this before. Let's start with Dave, because I get a feeling that once we start talking to Warren, he's going to be on screen for a little while. Hey, Dave.
Okay. Well, I was here last week and I wasn't feeling that bad, so I'm glad you guys are feeling better.
Yeah, me too. Me too. And you guys, both you and Warren have new purchases.
Yes, we do.
Oh.
This right here, the iPhone
and it's the green
11
one.
Pro Max.
The green one. All right. But you aren't the only one I have on here tonight, David. We also have Mr. Warren Sklar, and let's find out what he's all about. No, this is what you were saying to your doctor.
Don't touch me there. Don't touch.
Don't touch me there. What happened, dude?
Don't touch me. All right, I'll make it as quick as possible because it's why am I frozen in the bottom left? Am I frozen? No, I'm not frozen.
No, we see you.
Yeah, all right. My bottom left. Okay, I'm gonna.
No, you're looking good.
Yeah,
well,
in the
all things considered.
Yeah, in the bottom left there. All right, so I'll make it fast. So Monday night started to feel a little weird, just weird, sick, but not really. Tuesday, it started to feel like I was getting the flu. So the headache, bad headache, kind of nausea, hot, cold, uncomfortable, sweating, pains everywhere, aches and pains everywhere. So kind of muddled through to about Thursday with that. And, just slept, just slept a lot, but tried to sleep, and it was really hard to sleep. So basically, it was terrible. And then Thursday, my wife took me to one of the ER doctors, not a hospital, but one of those emergency clinic things. And they're like, yeah, you got the flu. Here's some flu and some anti-nausea medicine, and they pretty much kicked me out holding their towels to their mouth, like this guy's really infected.
We don't want anything of what you got with you.
We're like, we haven't seen this yet.
Dodge those germs.
We do not want it. So they kicked me out. So Friday comes around. I'm not feeling any better, really. Saturday comes around. I'm kind of feeling worse at this point. So off to the ER. So turns out that I started taking a medication about 3 weeks ago for something completely unrelated that I won't even go into. But it has to do with something to try and figure out with pain somewhere else. That medicine seemed to have been poisoning my liver. So it was, yes, my liver was getting angry and inflamed, and they saw these crazy levels, and basically it was killing my liver. And they said if you didn't come in soon, your liver would have shut down, and it would have gotten really, really bad. So they juiced me up on the salines and stuff like that because I wasn't eating anything.
Yeah, you were
put,
dehydrated.
I was dehydrated. I didn't eat. I wasn't eating and drinking. I was totally dehydrated. And then they took me off that medication, obviously, and then things started to get better. I started to come down, and by Sunday night, I kind of felt probably about 80% there.
Were you still at the hospital at that point?
Yeah, I was still there. And then Monday morning they said you could leave, so I left around noon. So I've been home since. I feel probably about 95% of it. So I still get a little weak here and there. It was just, one of those, you go to the hospital, sometimes you're like, because I'm always like, I don't want to go to the hospital. They're not going to find anything. It's a waste of time, blah, blah, blah. And my wife hates that I say that. It's interesting going to the hospital knowing that you really needed to go to the hospital.
Really? Yeah, no doubt.
you actually had to be there. So we're getting through. And so today we were in the mall and she felt bad for me. She said, "Do you want to go to the Apple store and
She's like, "You want to go to the Apple store?
I'll make you feel better.
You want to go? You'll feel better. We'll go to the Apple store."
You just kept saying, "I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it."
Eat more bacon. Marcus says, "Eat more bacon."
She was probably like, she was pretty much like giving a lollipop to a sick child. Do you want a lollipop? Do you want an iPhone Max?
See, they do this. They do that to me at work when I'm not feeling well, and they just give me chocolate. So I can't decide if I'm like a 3-year-old child or some kind of weird teenager. That's like, just give him chocolate. He'll be fine.
I like chocolate too, but I also do like
a liver,
iPhones, and a liver.
Yeah,
iPhones and a liver. So now, of course, people are telling me that my everybody's telling me that it was an elaborate plot to
get a new iPhone. So, no, I can totally see that. I can totally see that.
That would be a lot of advanced planning that I did not want to get involved with. So, and then
especially
I'm also
for the first week you kept saying that you're not getting it. You're not getting it.
So
I'm still on.
I couldn't
the 8.
see the reviews were coming out about the camera, and I'm like, okay. So I started dropping the hints to the wife. So the camera's the reason. The watch, I got the green light to get the new watch, which I'll probably get. But I'm still not. I mean, I wouldn't fight for that one so much because between the 4 and the 5, it's not that much. So that I'll probably give the 4 to my son, who has a 3, and then get the 5, and then.
See, everybody has better tech than me. What's up?
Well, yeah, because we like it more.
Because I'm a cheap bastich. Okay.
Stop buying microphones.
Yeah. Well, no, I can't. I love my microphones. I really do. As a matter of fact, I'm looking at getting one of 2 different microphones. I was talking to this guy. There's a guy on YouTube. Goes by the name of Podcastage, and he does lots of microphone reviews. So, shocker! I subscribe to his YouTube channel,
and you probably watch it all night.
Well, he's been doing it since like 2015, I think, doing these microphone reviews, and he buys them pretty much all himself. I don't know where he gets the money for it. So, but anyway, he, I had sent him a message on Twitter, so basically saying that I'm relatively happy with this high LPR 40 that I have, but it's almost like I'm fighting this microphone with all this stuff that I've had to have, and he's not a big fan of it because it's got a big high end boost in the higher frequencies, and he suggested either a Electro Voice RE320, which is like $300, or the Rode Pod Mic, which isn't really out in great numbers yet, but that's like $100. But here's the thing. I'm actually relatively happy with the way I sound right now. So it's like, do I screw with that, or do I just say, hey,
of course you do.
Be happy with what you have.
No, you should definitely be happy. There's no piece of technology out there that can make me sound good. So take what you could get. This is just how I sound.
I bet I have some microphone over here that would somewhere. I know I do. That would make you sound great. But anyway,
Well, if it makes me sound like Darth Vader, I'll take it.
well, the microphone you have right now sounds pretty good.
Yeah, but I still sound like.
And mine, I'm happy with the ATR 2100. So,
Which is a wonderful microphone.
I got a voice for Polaroids. I don't have a voice for radio.
A voice for Polaroids. If I like how I sound, buy 3 more mics.
yeah.
Yeah, 3 different mics, and then just put them all on various booms and just have them pointed in different directions. Anyway, let's get away from
Apple.
microphones. Let's get away from
Talk about tech here.
from hospitals and liver problems and all that. We're going to get onto some tech here. All right, got some quick takes. TuneIn brings worldwide radio stations to your Apple devices. Now, I thought that you could do this also in iTunes. I thought you were able, because now, naturally, of course, the radio stations have to have an online presence for any of this to work, because it's not like TuneIn is setting up transceivers all over the world and going, okay, we're going to bring in all these radio stations and just pump them all out and onto the internet. No, these radio stations have to have a presence to begin with. And more, that's what radio stations are doing, just to try to stay competitive in the marketplace.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I think it's coming to the HomePod, right? Is that what it's going on to? I think they're going to get the radio
believe so.
stations.
Well, the HomePod currently, I don't think you can add applications, but I think how would they even change that? Because there's no screen on the HomePods.
Because there's no.
Or do you have to manage it from your phone or something?
No, like with Amazon, you don't need to do anything. You don't need to tie anything together. You just say, Alexa, play.
Go do this.
Play, New Jersey 101.5, and it will try to find it if it's available. So I'm assuming that will be the same with the.
But you see, that's not how they say it. They go, "This is New Jersey 101.5 FM on your dial. Hey, how you doing? The weather tonight is about 87 degrees. Surf is going to rise in the morning. Looking at high tide about 5:30, and low tide will be going out at about 6 o'clock. So we'll catch you next time. Traffic and weather on the 8s. See, I missed my calling. I really did.
Oh, you totally did. You should have been radio guy.
All right.
Radio
Apple,
guy.
Radio guy. Hey. Apple TV Plus. I love this title. This is from ZDNet. Apple TV Plus will be bigger than Netflix if Apple does 1 billion things just right. Who did? I mean, it's like, I will win the lottery if I do 6 things just right. That's how that works. Okay. And a Powerball. Oh yeah, I almost forgot about that.
You need the 6 numbers and the Powerball.
Yeah, that's when
and the Mega Millions.
Yeah. Oh yeah. My God. It used to be the odds for Mega Millions was like 72 million, and then they threw in that last ball that's like 1 to 50, I think, and it
Back
zoomed
in my
up.
day, the Powerball didn't have that extra fandangled number. Now it's got that extra number, and I can't deal with it.
I'm not happy, a man. I'm a comic
count
book
to
guy.
7. I was able to count to 7.
All right. Boy, we are just like going all over the place tonight. 5 components of the Mac Pro will not be tariff-free. So, and here's the thing. The Mac Pro is not being manufactured in the United States. It's being assembled in the United States, and there's a big difference there. All of the components that's going to make up the Mac Pro are going to be coming from overseas. They ship all the parts here, just like they did with the trashcan Mac Pro. Ship all the parts here. They're put together in a factory in Texas. I think they said that's where that is. And then you've got a Mac Pro that's assembled, and it even says it right on there. It doesn't say manufactured; it says assembled in the United States. And and again, you know what? That's better than nothing. But it's not like it's 100%. Here is this American-built computer, because that's not how it works anymore.
it just can't be yet. I mean, it just we're not geared for it yet. We need people with skills to be able to put things together. 400,000
people and their closest friends to get together in one place to build this
Although
stuff.
Probably the Mac Pro probably won't need to be that much ramped up, because you would think it's not gonna be that mass produced. It will be mass produced, but nothing like an iPhone or an iPad. So.
Right. Okay, moving on to some of the main stories. I'm sure I don't know if you guys heard about this. The trash can Macs got trashed. This was a story from 9 to 5 Mac. Film and TV editors all over the world are confirming that their Mac Pros running Avid video editing software is crashing, and if rebooted, refuses to restart. Multiple warnings abound, telling fellow editors to back everything up and to not turn off their Macs for any reason. Avid has confirmed the issue and worked on a solution. The problem seems to be running across most major release versions of the Mac OS, and one solution being tested, or that was tested, was to reinstall the OS while leaving the data intact. And there's a follow-up story.
It was Google all along.
It was, actually. It was.
It was.
Avid crash seems to be everyone but Apple's fault. This was a story from MrMacintosh.com.
Let's see who's really responsible.
Let me pull a rabbit out of my hat.
Yeah. It's Old Man Jenkins.
It's old man Google did it.
In a previous story, we talked about the issues surrounding Macs using Avid's film editing software, mysteriously crashing, refusing to reboot. On the Avid side, in order to get some third-party video cards to work, owners must turn off SIP, and that stands for System Integrity Protection, which is the key to what happened. Not necessarily Avid's turning off SIP, but that all users that do so are at risk. Google's latest update for the Mac has an updater called Keystone that, while updating Chrome, also changed a symbolic link to a folder called /var, which is required in the boot process. Without it, the OS just goes into a boot loop, never actually finishing. I don't know why I'm laughing. Finishing the process. If your Mac was affected, I'll have a link to the Mr. Macintosh article that will show you various ways to determine if you have the problem and what you can do about it. And final 4 words are: never turn off SIP. Don't use programs that turn off SIP. There's a reason. It's definitely there for a reason. So what did you guys get from all of this?
Well, I mean, again, you just reiterated, don't turn off system integrity protection, period. It's going to affect the integrity of your system. Apple put that in place for a reason, and it's been in Mojave, and it's going to be continuing on with Catalina. And you just don't do it. I don't understand why they even did it. That's what's kind of mind-boggling to me.
Well, it was the only way to get certain video cards to work. Now, I mean, and remember, we're talking about a video editing software solution, very high end, that is used to make some of the biggest motion pictures in the world. And because a lot of these third-party video cards don't include drivers for the Mac, well, they have to go through certain loops and certain Fruit Loops to get those cards to work on their systems. So, I mean, I understand why they did it. I understand how it happened, and it just seemed like if Google had just not done something bad, which was change something fundamental in Mac OS, and I wasn't aware. I guess by turning off system integrity protection, they were able to do that. But I mean, why even have that in an update? What do you think, Warren?
To disable it, it's done. You gotta. It's a process. You gotta boot into recovery. You go to the terminal, and there's a terminal command to disable SIP. So it's not like it's not just like like a button on in the OS. I mean, it's something that you gotta do. I've done it before. Yeah, you if you ever want to change system files, there's a, that's what you got to do more or less to do it. So that's part of it. Obviously they're to blame, but if their stuff needs to work and it can't work, then and this got it to work, then it's a workaround. But they should have been quicker to realize that this was their problem and to get a fix out for it before it made the news. I guess that's my take. Somebody should have caught it before we read about it at this point.
Yeah. Mike says avid folks were impacted the most because they disabled SIP to enable eGPUs. Why would you have to disable SIP to enable not even so much eGPUs, but the big harnesses that are coming off of Thunderbolt in order to run third-party cards and third-party controllers and all the rest of that. I mean, why would you have to do that unless of course it's hardware that isn't necessarily supported natively by the Mac OS?
Because it's not going to see it unless you change something in the system. It's not that, basically turning off SIP is allowing a software change that in Windows term would be the device manager to see the device. So they obviously needed to tell Apple, the Macintosh, the OS X, that it's okay to, install this, probably a KEX file, I'm guessing, to find this device so it could be used. Otherwise, you plug it in, nothing happens.
But on the plus side, it looks like comments are working as long as you do it through. As long as you do it through my page, I
see it.
Cannot figure out a way to get it to work by hosting from Mac to the Future, because what I thought I was going to have to do, or what I wanted to do, was go through the Mac to the Future page and then forward that to my own page, but instead I've had to do that in reverse. So anyone who's watching this on the Mac to the Future page, thank you for joining us, number one. But number two, if you want to leave comments, unfortunately, you'll have to go to my page to do so and watch it from my page to do so. And I'm really, really sorry, but I do not have a workaround for this. And I don't think it's an issue with Mimo as much as it's an issue with Facebook. So
always blame Facebook.
Yeah, well,
blame Facebook.
Always.
Blame Canada. Blame Canada. All right, let's move on to the next story. Everyone needs Bluetooth. So there's lots of apps that are now having to request permission to use Bluetooth, and we're starting to find out that a lot of these applications don't really need it. Why do I have a backgammon game that is asking me to connect it to Bluetooth? Or really, so many different applications that for one reason or another want to have access to Wi-Fi and access to Bluetooth, and when they don't really require it to do whatever it is that the app is there to do.
Yeah. Why does Duncan need it? That's what I asked that question when I've been talking about this.
What, Dunkin' Donuts?
Yeah.
Well, America runs on Dunkin'.
It does. Yeah.
So it's just.
I prefer Krispy Kreme myself.
It's been in place for a long time, but Apple's finally being smart with security and opening up and warning people that, hey, this app is going to be using Bluetooth to communicate what it needs to define where you are, and mostly location stuff is what's really it's for.
Yep.
So it's the good thing is you can go in and turn them all off, and then but the interesting thing was, and when I've talked about this on podcasts and many other places, that you are able to go in and turn them off, and now they're just warning you, and because people didn't know, and that's what's kind of annoying, because you want to choose what your privacy settings are, and not knowing it was kind of,
and not have other applications choose it for you.
kind of crappy that they didn't know. So now they can go in and make changes, and they're in good. So.
Right. Thanks for joining us, Mike. By the way, appreciate it, and the comments. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Marcus raises a good point talking about, now this is something that I don't think we've talked about on this show, is Apple beacons. Yeah. Which kind of, like, what was it, 4 years ago, had a big splash at WWDC, and then it was like, you never heard anything else about it.
Right.
I think
but
Apple
apparently
stores still do it, don't they? They're still in the Apple stores, I think.
Well, I mean, it's in the Apple. I mean, that's part of the whole shopping experience in the Apple store. So you pick up a case or something that you want to buy. Well, you pay for it right there on the phone. You don't have to go and find someone to take care of it.
That's not the beacon. I mean, they've had that before. The beaconing. The beaconing's supposed to be. So when I walk into an Apple store, my phone knows I'm in an Apple store at this point because there's beacons in there. If you ever walk in an Apple store, it will generally automatically join the Apple Wi-Fi network, and it will say something like, "Hey, Warren, you're back in the Apple store.
Hey,
what do you want?
Thumbs up.
What can I do for you? Here's some more cases that you probably don't need, or maybe I do." Yeah. Speaking of cases, if anybody out there needs 10s Max cases, I have like too many of them. I'm selling them. So.
But what did you do with your phone? Did you trade your phone in for that, for the 11?
Apple. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I'm still on the series. I found out, I thought I had the Series 3 watch. I actually have the Series 2 watch. So I can't update it. I can't update it to the new version of WatchOS.
Well, you can't do it yet. You will be able to do it later.
Oh, is that what they're saying? Because I wasn't. Yeah, because I was trying, and finally I went into, because you've got the application on the phone that lets you kind of manage all that stuff. Right. And I looked up the model number, and it was like, well, I'm going to get some more information about my Series 3 watch. And then I looked up the model number, and it was like, I can't look up more information about my Series 3 watch because it's not a Series 3 watch. It's a Series 2 watch.
My son has a Series 3.
They're going to update it.
They are going to update it. Okay.
Do you want to buy my son?
Later in the fall.
Do you want to buy my son's Series 3 watch? Is the question.
No, actually, you know what? At this point, if I was going to get a new one, I would probably just go ahead and get the 5.
I wouldn't blame you, but you're a guy and you like old stuff, so I don't know.
Hey now, hold on a second.
Hey, I've gone from the series 1943
Get
to
off
the
my
series.
lawn.
40.
I can't stop my finger from wagging at you.
I'll tell you what time it is as soon as my watch comes back to life.
What time is it? I don't know. The last story that we have tonight, Call of Duty is on iOS. Have you guys, either one of you guys, played with this yet?
I'm not.
I have not either. So I guess it's kind of a non-story, but I did think that it was interesting. Now, do either one of you have a computer with Catalina on it?
Yes,
I do.
I put it on my laptop. Talked about this last weekend on the MyMac show. And I discovered something that I didn't think I was going to discover. And mostly what I discovered was I don't miss 32-bit apps all that much. I looked at the ones that weren't going to work. And for the most part, it was kind of like, meh. The only one that really bothers me is Steam. So anyone who has who has a Steam account with a bunch of games on Steam, check very, very carefully first to see if those games will work on a Catalina. I think you will find that almost all of them will not, including ones from Steam itself. And when I first finished... excuse me, I'm sorry. When I first finished loading up Catalina on my laptop, I looked through the list of applications to see which ones weren't working. and the actual Steam client wasn't working. But Steam has updated the Steam client to a 64-bit version, but just because you have the 64-bit version of the client doesn't necessarily mean that the applications are going to work. And none of the games that I have, at least of the ones I checked so far, none of them are going to work under Catalina. So, what do you do?
Pull up, Dana. Go buy
You can have
buy an
VM?
Xbox like the rest of the world.
Well, one of the things that I was thinking about, now of course I have Carbon Copy Cloner, was to get and they're so much cheaper now. Get like a 1 terabyte USB 3 or Thunderbolt drive on an with an SSD, and clone nearly everything that I currently have on this computer that's related to 32-bit applications onto that, and then just reboot to that if I want to play some Steam games. Or you could even do it virtually with VMware Fusion or Parallels. All you need is a disk image.
You could do it on Boot
Parallels.
Camp. I mean, you could also run
Boot
Boot Camp.
yeah.
Because Steam, once you buy the games, I think.
Oh, you have both?
cross-platform.
Yeah. Yes.
So you could buy both.
You have the
versions
Windows,
of it.
because I have a couple of Windows games on Steam that I can't play on the Mac, but they're there every time I boot up and I look at my list of games.
My son has that too, so he's done it a few times. But yeah.
And you can get a free copy of Windows. You can get Windows 10 for nothing.
You could get a copy for nothing. It will nag the hell out of you.
Sure. But I mean, if all you're doing is playing some video games, who cares?
Or you could buy that sweet Surface stuff they were showing me today. Some of it looks pretty good.
Surface. It's ARM based, isn't it?
No, I don't think so.
Because they're trying that trick again.
They actually have one that's the Surface was it the Surface Pro X? Is that what it was?
Yeah, it's going to be called Windows 10X is the version.
Well, no, but there's a device. There's actually a device too. There's one of their Surfaces is called an X, and it's supposedly like super fast, and it's. Anyways, yeah, it looks cool. I mean, basically they're removable SSDs, which I don't understand what that is either, but I guess you could increase the storage, and then they got their foldable stuff. They got the Surface Neo, which is the Surface Neo is basically the dual screen Surface laptop.
But how does that work? Is it just like fold out or something?
Yeah, it's 9 inches. So there's two 9-inch screens that clamp together, that fold together like that. Mm-hmm. And then it opens up, and it could open up completely, kind of like the Samsung deal. It's not coming out for another year and a half. And then basically it runs a version of Windows called Windows. It wasn't X, was it? It was.
Well, I mean, is it x86 or is it ARM based?
No, it's x86. They didn't talk about anything ARM based.
I had read somewhere that they were going to come out with another Surface tablet that was ARM based.
They have a few Snapdragon based ones, and I think they still have a few of those. I don't think they said anything about an ARM based tablet. I don't know if they gave any details about the ones that are down the line, because the Neo is not out for another year and a half, and then they're doing the phone again. They're doing another Windows Phone, which is actually just it's an Android phone with dual screen, with the flexible screen and skin to look like Windows is basically what it's going to be. So
why would they even bother? That is a colossal waste of time.
They're just making their own branded Android phone. I mean, it's basically like Samsung or Huawei doing the same thing. It's not. I mean, that's it.
Well, but it's skinned differently, which means there'll be applications that won't work on it. Because
no, it's just going to run Android apps. I mean, it's skinned. You could get an Android now and download a Windows theme. I don't know if they call them themes or skins or whatever, but you could basically, they're out there if you search for Windows skin or theme, you can make it look pretty close to
It's just a skin.
iOS. Yeah, it could look like iOS. It could look like Windows, but it runs Android.
It wasn't that far to start with.
Yeah. So there you go.
I don't know. You know, this is a source of contention for me. It's like Microsoft, instead of saying, you know what, let's try again with an actual Windows-ish operating system, and don't make the same mistakes that you did the last time, which was give up after 3 months, and get some quality developers to develop for the platform. I mean, Microsoft. This would be like Apple saying, you know what, we don't want Adobe and we don't want all these other big names to develop for iOS because it's just too hard. So we're just gonna let all the Chinese companies come in and make applications and then walk away. And that's pretty much what Microsoft did with the original Windows Phone, and with, what was the name of that other one? There was a little tiny one that was, I mean, it was only out for like 6 weeks, and then they pulled it from the market. I can't remember the name of it, but it was, it's like Ballmer comes out and says, what we're going to do is make Windows look like Windows regardless of what platform it's on. So if it's on a tablet running on an ARM-based chip, it's going to look just like it did on an Intel-based computer. And it was a colossal failure because nobody could figure out what device to get that was going to work with the software that they already had. And that kind of stink just carried through with the rest of the hardware that they were making at the time. So this time, just come right out and say, this is a Windows phone, and these are the applications that will work with this phone. It's not going to work with your computer, and you can't take your computer software and put it on this phone. You just can't do that.
They were pretty clear at the keynote that it was Android. It was an Android phone. So
okay.
Because they're more of a device. They want to be more of a device maker too. The Surface line is their devices. So
right.
This is a Surface phone. They made the phone. This is a Surface. What the?
Whoa.
What?
What was that?
Somebody posted a link of sorts. The pops.
What is the pop socket? What is that?
Oh, those round pop sockets that everybody loves to put on the back of their phones.
The little round things that you pull out and you can.
And you hold it like this, and then there's a stand. It turns into a stand.
And out of left field, Meg asked a question about this.
That's my sister-in-law, actually.
Oh, is it?
I would say.
Yeah.
Hi, Meg. Thanks for joining us tonight. We're not making fun of you. We love you. Thank you for being here.
And the answer is probably no, because I think it needs to, it needs to grip onto that.
That needs to be like native to whatever kind of case it is you're buying, isn't it?
It just needs to be it needs to be a smooth back of the case. A lot of things won't stick. You think it's
that's right. She bought my XS Max and it's got the battery case.
Right, but but the battery case is sort of like silicone.
My whole family's coming in here now.
Yeah.
Should I pose?
We're on. Hello.
I'm doing my neck exercises.
Hello. Oh my God.
Tell you what, next year, Mac Stock Expo, we all go out to dinner on me. Okay, how's that?
With pop sockets?
Oh, I'm going to hold you to that.
Hey, what was the name of that steak place that we went to?
Jameson's?
Yeah. That place rocked.
It is. It's very good.
Dave,
Patty
Dave,
Meg,
the place where I put the plug-in isn't working, Dave.
Another sister-in-law.
So Patty, Meg, Dave, his wife,
and my wife,
Dave, his wife.
They found out where to find tech support. Somebody leaked where to find you on tech support. It's like, guys, shit, not here. I'm at work.
If there's too many of you, we're going for those. I can't remember the name of the place. It has the butter bun burgers.
Oh, Culver's.
Culver's, yeah, we'll go to Culver's instead. So don't invite too many people, or we'll end up at Culver's instead of Jameson's.
Oh my god! All right, the mass.
But there will be frozen custard, because they have frozen custard there, and which is just awesome. I love frozen custard. Okay, I think that is going to about do it for.
Now we didn't even talk about any of the updates. Jeez.
I know. Oh, that's right.
They're all updated.
Everything's updated.
Everything's updated.
Well, have you guys had any of the problems?
No.
I just put the newest beta on my.
I just saw the new beta's out, so I'm gonna put it on a device. So.
You talking about iPad or phones?
No, the iOS phone. So
see,
I
don't do that with my phone.
You already broke it.
I already broke my new
I'm not putting that on my iPhone 11 Pro Max.
No, it's supposed to do the deep learning picture thing, and I don't know what. I haven't played with the camera really to figure it out. But supposedly you could do some kind of deep learning sweater thing. I don't know.
Deep learning sweater thing? What is a sweater thing?
So
you know what? I don't answer that question.
You don't want to know. Yeah,
I don't want to know what a sweater thing is.
Just do a search on
sweater things.
Sweaters. Apple deep learning sweater is a big joke. Everybody's talking about that. So, there you go.
Everybody's talking about me. All right. So I have the beta for Catalina. I'm digging it. I had the beta for the iPadOS. I was digging that. That was rock solid. I cannot think of any. I mean, I know that there were people that were having problems with iPadOS when it was out in the beta. I didn't run into any of those problems. I was digging the iPadOS.
Well,
and I still am now that it's out now.
It depends on when you started the beta cycle.
It was relatively late. It was just a couple of weeks before it was finally released.
I put it on the day of WWDC and on my production devices, and I earned this. I earned my time to enjoy the full benefits of iOS 13 now, because it was horrible. It was a really rough 6 months, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, you were beta testing it the whole time.
Everything. I had my watch, both my computers, my phone, my iPad. Everything was on the beta cycle.
And what he's not telling you is that all lined up on the floor next to this one concrete wall are the remains of various phones and iPads and computers that refused to work after he started playing with the betas. And it was like, damn your eyes, bam, right into the wall.
Well, it's all fine until you do the watch, because the watches are reversible. So like you do everything else, and you could revert them back, back and forth. And then I'm like, let's do the watch. Once you do the watch, you're all in.
I did do the watch. I didn't think about it until after the fact, so I'm on 6.1.
Okay.
Yeah, I got to do my beta today.
All right. Well, I think that is going to do it for this evening. We've pretty much covered everything that we were going to cover, and I know there were people out there that want to go see The Masked Singer. Wait, hold on. I'm trying to find the will to live after saying those words.
It is an excellent show.
I think the ladies can attest to that.
David, if people wanted to get a hold of you, how would they do it?
They would do it by going to my website, my podcast, In Touch with iOS, at intouchwithios.com. Recording a new show tomorrow. It's going to be Mr. Michael LaPlante coming on. I haven't talked to him in a while. And I also do a podcast on horse racing, ofthechartsHorseRacing.com, as well as I'm on Twitter, DaveG65.
Okay, and let's go on over and find out everything that we can about Warren. Hello, Warren. If people wanted to get a hold of you, not in a hospital, how would they do it?
I'm going to be in Las Vegas. I'm appearing in Las Vegas
Yeah.
2 weeks from this weekend.
You're,
I'll be
what,
there.
are
in
you?
2.5
Are you
weeks.
opening at like the Flamingo or something, or how's that working?
I am opening at the casino level and then probably the buffet. I'll be opening at nap time in my room if you want to come visit me then. And then I'll be closing at night I'm closing at night in my room around probably about midnight.
I've actually never been to Vegas.
You should go. It's fun.
What?
I should go. I've never been to Vegas.
I'm booked for CES.
Yeah. Are you really? That's my dream.
Yes.
That's actually my dream. I did the WWDC and I probably used up my one dream of that. But CES would be just crazy fun.
Well, see, next year you need to go to MacStock.
Oh, well, CES can't hold anything to Max. Come on.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, you know,
still
it's
gotta come
number
to
one. It's a
MacStock.
lot closer. It's a lot closer.
Mm-hmm.
You don't
the
have
nightlife?
refrigerators and cars
Just
to go
showgirls?
through. There's no showgirls.
No showgirl, no blackjack.
Unless you
Is
can
there blackjack
convince,
at the Maxstock conference?
unless you can convince
you have
Allison
blackjack, I'll
Sheridan
come.
to put on a bikini.
Well, we might
And
be
I
able to
don't
find
think
a
you're
casino
going to be
nearby.
able to do that. Well, yeah, that's true. That's because it is Chicago. So
We do have casinos now,
everybody has casinos now.
We have casinos over here too. Yeah.
and we have sports betting too.
So do we? Yeah, we just got it. Every time
And
I
when
bet on the
everyone
sports
has
thing, it doesn't work.
casinos, nobody has casinos. All right.
The house is
So if you would like to get a hold of me, all you have to do, I should probably do this right here. All you'd have to do is send me an email, guy@mymac.com. I am on the Twitters, twitter.com/MacParrot, twitter.com/VertShark. And if you would like, if you would like to help contribute to the madness that is all of the crazy things that I do, which include, of course, the Mac to the Future Livecast, Guys Daily Drive. There's 2 new episodes of Guys Daily Drive that's out now, available both on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel, and also through iTunes, which will soon become podcasts. Please leave comments for Guys Daily Drive, which is where the audio feed for the Mac to the Future Livecast goes to. Really, and subscribe. Like, share, subscribe over there on YouTube, and also in iTunes. Leave comments. It all really helps. If you'd like to contribute something a little more substantial, that's fine. You don't have to. There's patreon.com/MacParrot. There is coffee.com, ko-fi.com/MacParrot. And there is the new one.
Dun, 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 dun.
PayPal.me/MacParrot. Oh, all right, guys. Woodstock is pretty, Meg. It really is. So,
1 year I'll get there.
number one, thanks, Warren. Thanks, Dave, for being on tonight. And next week, I shall regale you with stories of what's to come this weekend, which is a wedding in Texas that the whole family is going to, and it has the potential for a lot of drama. And depending on the amount of drama will depend on how much of what I tell you afterwards. But there's in-laws, there's outlaws, there's Texas all by itself. Who knows what's going to happen?
I'll be in Texas next week with you.
Oh, it's going to be a show, guys. It is going to be such a show. But I am really looking forward to it. I really need to get out of town, especially after my horrible Florida trip from a couple of weeks ago. So, excuse me. With all that in mind, number one, thank you, Warren. Thank you, Dave, for being on tonight. And thanks everyone who has commented tonight. Thanks everyone who will download and listen to the Mac to the Future Livecast. We really do appreciate it. And I think that is going to about do it. So say goodnight, guys.
Good night, guys.
Good night, guys.
Yeah, I
Glad
knew
to
that
be
you would.
alive.
I knew.
Yay,
I knew.